with a chance for storms, winds out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Lows around 75. Tonight, chance for storms. Get weather anytime by calling 824-6101 or online at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. Right now, it's 75 degrees.
WTIM.
You're listening to WTIM, your information station. Time now for your expanded local news. I'm Reed Kamai. The Taylorville Park Board is set to meet for its regular monthly meeting tonight at 7 to discuss various approvals, new and old business, and hear departmental reports. The Park Board is set to begin the meeting by considering approval of the minutes from their June 22nd meeting, followed by a review of the Treasurer's report. Under new business, the board will discuss Perkinson Park with Jerry Neiman. Under old business, members are expected to receive an update on the city pool, review an Environmental Protection Agency letter dated July 10th, acknowledge receipt of a letter from Sickich, and continue discussions regarding Taylorville music lessons rentals. The board will also hear reports from Maintenance Superintendent Ben Dempsey, Recreation Director Evan Mitchell, and Office Administrator Linda Moomey. The meeting will conclude with committee reports before board members consider approval of bills and departmental reports. Keep following along with TaylorvilleDailyNews.com for updates after tonight's meeting. The Christian County Health Department has confirmed the county's first West Nile virus positive mosquito sample of the 2026 season. Thankfully, state health officials report there have been no confirmed human cases of West Nile virus in Illinois so far this year. The mosquitoes were collected in Taylorville last Monday and tested by the department's environmental health staff last Wednesday. Confirmatory testing was completed at the Christian County Health Department laboratory. According to the Illinois Department of Public Health, a county is considered positive for West Nile virus when the virus is detected in a mosquito, bird, horse, or human. Health officials say recent warm and humid weather has created ideal conditions for mosquito populations across the area. Public Health Administrator Dr. Chad Anderson says the department conducts mosquito surveillance throughout the season to identify West Nile virus activity early and keep residents informed. Anderson adds that ongoing surveillance, combined with community efforts to eliminate mosquito breeding sites and prevent mosquito bites, plays an important role in protecting public health. The Christian County Health Department will continue monitoring and testing mosquitoes throughout the county for the remainder of the season. Residents are encouraged to reduce standing water around their homes where mosquitoes breed and take precautions to avoid mosquito bites when spending time outdoors. For more information about West Nile virus or other disease-carrying insects, contact the Christian County Health Department at 217-824-4113. A new Illinois law is aimed at improving how schools support students who rely on service animals. Legislation championed by State Senator Doris Turner of Springfield requires schools to include training on the proper handling of service animals as part of the Americans with Disabilities Act training already provided to teachers, administrators, and school support staff. Federal law already protects the rights of students with disabilities to use service animals in public schools. Supporters say the new measure will help ensure school personnel better understand those protections while promoting a more welcoming and inclusive learning environment. The legislation was inspired by a Rochester High School student who relies on a medical alert dog to help manage type 1 diabetes. The dog alerts the student when her blood sugar drops to dangerous levels, allowing her to respond before the situation becomes life-threatening. Last year, the student reported repeated harassment involving her service animal, including classmates stepping on the dog's legs, pulling its tail, throwing food at it, and barking at it in school hallways. She also shared her concerns publicly, saying more needed to be done to protect both her and her service animal. Senator Turner says every student deserves to feel welcome at school and that families who depend on accommodations should be met with compassion rather than discrimination. Senate Bill 2761 was signed into law on Friday and is scheduled to take effect on New Year's Day of 2027. Information on the Illinois General Assembly can be found at ilga.gov. Community members in Christian County can expect to see improvements and extensions to the Lincoln Prairie Trail in the coming weeks and months. The Lincoln Prairie Trails Conservancy is orchestrating these changes to the trail, which runs between Taylorville and Pana. They are looking to extend the route through to the northwest portion of Taylorville and have been in talks with the city on proposals. There are other efforts to improve and beautify the surroundings of what already exists, as well as events to inspire local youth to use the trail. Steve Dennis is a member of the Conservancy's board. He says the route through the city will use side streets to take walkers and riders to where Route 29 meets 104.
The mayor asked me to look into finding a safe route from Pawpaw Street over to the intersection of Route 29 and 104. And so we had volunteers through LPTC. We drove the streets of Taylorville, coming up with alternatives, and we decided on two potential options, which were then had a public hearing or a public meeting where the public looked at the two options and made a recommendation to the city. The city then in turn approved that. And so what we're doing is we're using secondary roads from Pawpaw over to 104 and 29. So they call this low volume roads. There is a website with IDOT that lets you know what the average traffic is on the streets of town and other towns as well. So that was used.
Another proposed project would see a more easily accessible crosswalk built for visitors to access the Veterans Memorial at Lake Taylorville from the trail and vice versa.
So the crosswalk study was approved by the Taylorville City Council. And so what we've done is Benton Engineering will be doing a site study at the Lake Taylorville entrance. What we're looking to do is to have an ADA compliant crosswalk from the Veterans Memorial parking lot over to the trail.
Okay.
We're expecting to get that result before too long. And then what we'll do is we'll have options on where is the best place to site that crosswalk. At that point, then we'll go back to the get the plans drawn up, present that to the city, and we'll be looking at raising funds so that we can get that implemented for everyone. Okay. So right now there is a crosswalk painted across the roadway, but you have to cross a ditch and a hill to get to the trail. That's really not feasible for folks with mobility issues. So that's why we're looking at an ADA, and this is not funded by the city. This is funded by private donations.
The Conservancy has worked with Awanaco's Village Board to add amenities there, similar to what currently exists at the trailheads.
Right. So we've partnered with the various cities and along the trail, and Awanaco, the Village Board, has been very good to work with. We poured a concrete pad, and they donated a bench, which they have at this park, which is right there, there in Awanaco. In addition to that bench, there's also a bike fix-it station and a pet waste station. So if you decide you want to come and start at Awanaco and walk towards the lake or towards Millersville, either one, then you've got some facilities there, parking. And like I said, the village has been really great about working with us. And we're hoping to add more items down the line here. But for now, we've got a bench, a bike fix-it station, and the pet waste station. And across the street, there is a rain shelter with picnic tables. So you can also take a break there.
The organization has also partnered with the University of Illinois Extension's Master Gardeners to plant native sunflowers at the Pana Trailhead and between Awanaco and Millersville.
City of Pana gave permission. We've been partnering with Pana and the Master Gardeners of Christian County and the other counties, which I can't ever remember. But anyway, what we did down there is there's a 25 by 250 foot garden spot, and we've been planting native species, native to Illinois, of flowers. But at the southern end, we've got a sunflower patch. And so what happened there was there are several different species of native Illinois sunflowers, and they have started to bloom. So if you get a chance, get down to Pana and check that out, check the trailhead. There are over 500 seeds that were planted for this, and you can see it right from the highway. So we want to thank the Master Gardeners for their help with all of this. and we're looking forward to more native plants and more infrastructure being added at the Pana Trailhead.
Students at elementary schools in Taylorville will be able to participate in a bike rodeo. The Conservancy is organizing this event thanks to grant funding the city received from the Illinois Department of Transportation.
So this is partnering with the Taylorville schools, which will include Memorial, North, and St. Mary's and Vision Way. All the kids will participate, and we'll have approximately 700 kids eligible. Doesn't mean they'll all participate, but it's scaled to benefit all of those kids. So we're waiting on details from the state to finalize the grant, and then we'll work on scheduling it. But some of the things that will be included is there'll be helmet fitting, there'll be educational materials that we can distribute, skills course. We may even have a bike clinic that we can do to check if they bring their bikes to the event. Well, we're in the planning stages with this, but again, we want to thank Illinois Department of Transportation and Benton Engineering in the city of Taylorville and the Taylorville School District for all working together to put this event on.
More information on the Lincoln Prairie Trails Conservancy is available at lincolnprairietrailsconservancy.com and on their Facebook page. Steve Dennis appeared as a guest on the WTIM Morning Show.
Hi, this is Will Perkins with Taylorville Community Credit Union. 2026 is an exciting year at TCCU. We are building a new home office, upgrading our mobile app, and preparing to offer mobile check deposit, all to better serve our members. 2026 also marks our 70th anniversary. For 70 years, TCCU has been your local source for low loan rates, great deposit rates, and an organization proud to serve our local communities. Visit any of our convenient locations in Taylorville, Hillsboro, Litchfield, or Painter. You can also visit us online at tccu.org, member NCUA.
Medical and psychological experts are looking to raise awareness of overstimulation. The term refers to any instance in which an individual's senses receive more information than their brain can process. Ed Laheta, the clinical director for Shelby County Community Services Mental Health Division, says overstimulation disturbs the nervous system.
This leads to this discomfort. The nervous system, which includes the brain, your spinal cord, and all the nerves that are connected, is constantly working to process all of the sensory information that we receive. When there's too much of this sensory input, the system may struggle to manage and respond to it all. Additionally, the ability to tolerate and then manage stimulation can also vary from person to person, and this can also depend on certain situations.
Overstimulation can happen in a variety of instances. Laheta says it has become more common due to the overall faster pace in Western society now compared to past centuries.
Busy streets with heavy traffic and honking horns, not so much here, but you can imagine in busy areas we may travel to, loud concerts or crowded events, brightly lit shopping malls. Another one I want to point out are workplaces where you could have constantly ringing phones, chatter, flows of people moving in and out of that business or that organization. Classrooms filled with many students, oftentimes talking at once. Public transportation, especially during, rush hours or busy times. Theme parks with flashing lights, loud sounds. Hospitals with beeping machines, bustling staff. Restaurants with clattering dishes, loud conversations, orders coming in, orders being filled.
Modern technology such as video games, movies, and social media have been found to be among the strongest and most frequent triggers.
Video games with flashing screens and loud noises. Movies or TV shows with fast-paced scenes and intense sound effects. And lastly, and again, underscore the importance of this, social media apps that feature content that is designed to capture our attention. If it doesn't capture our attention, we don't buy the products. that are supporting those apps or those sites.
Overstimulation and its disruption of the nervous system can cause many physical and emotional symptoms.
Hyperstimulation does and can cause physical symptoms like headaches, nausea, sweating, dizziness. It can increase your heart rate, trembling or tremors. And again, there are other things you should always check out, medical things that can be causing these stuff. Emotional symptoms. Hyperstimulation can create irritability. Sometimes when people are very, very hectic and their attention is drawn in lots of directions at one time, it can make us a little cranky or irritable. Anxiety, feeling tearful, afraid, or even overly excited. Even positive stimulation can go too far. Cognitive symptoms. This can affect things like difficulty concentrating. We only have so much RAM to run the computer on any given basis. Confusion. It makes it sometimes difficult with memory issues, whether that's putting things into memory or retrieving things from memory, and trouble making decisions.
Laheta recommends creating environments which are light on the senses. He also advocates for establishing structure and routines whenever possible to avoid or reduce instances of overstimulation.
First off, try to create a calm environment with dim lighting, minimal noise. Establish routines. The more structure they find and predictability in a person's daily life, the less surprises they're going to experience. Now, having a nice gift, that's a nice surprise, but in your everyday life, you want to reduce the amount of unpredictability, which reduces stress levels. Knowing your limits and setting boundaries for exposure to overstimulating events and activities. All of us have limits. We can only deal with or handle so much. I'm human. Using sensory tools like weighted blankets or noise canceling headphones. Some people use music, and I would urge them to be mindful of how and what type of music they choose. Taking sensory breaks is where you step away from all of your overstimulating environments. Just take a time out for yourself.
More information on Shelby County Community Services is on their Facebook page. Ed Laheta appeared as a guest on the WTIM Shelbyville Morning Show.
Your son was 3 when you planted that tree in your backyard. Now he's grown, planting seeds and making memories with his own kids. Let Heartland Bank help you grow more memories with banking options for every stage of your life. Welcome, former CNB customers. We're your community bank. Heartland Bank. We build relationships that nurture and grow your dreams. Visit us today at hbtbank.com, member FDIC.
Now to obituaries, which can be found at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. 87-year-old Wilma E. Koss of Taylorville, formerly of Effingham, died earlier this month. Visitation is tomorrow from 10:30 till 11:30 at McClure Funeral Home in Taylorville. The funeral service will immediately follow. Burial will be at Union Cemetery in Altamont. Arrangements are being handled by McClure Funeral Home in Taylorville. 75-year-old Master Sergeant Stanley W. Crouch of Taylorville died last Monday. A memorial gathering will take place on Wednesday from 11 till noon at McClure Funeral Home in Taylorville. A memorial ceremony will immediately follow. Interment will be at Oak Hill Cemetery. Cremation rights have been accorded. Arrangements are being handled by McClure Funeral Home and Cremation Services in Taylorville. And 77-year-old Robert Bob Leroy Durbin of Taylorville died July 18th. A graveside memorial will take place August 4th at 2 at Oak Hill Cemetery in Taylorville. Cremation rights have been accorded. Arrangements are being handled by McClure Funeral Home and Cremation Services in Taylorville. Get local news anytime at Taylorville.